Live from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, it's the 2018 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic presented by the New Orleans Saints. Our coverage of 9 games in 3 days starts right now with the Class 1A championship matchup between the Kentwood Kangaroos and the Oak Grove Tigers. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Palermo, along with former Evangel and LSU star Jacob Hester. For the Oak Grove Tigers, it's been a long time since they've made it to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. 2004 was the last time they did it. They bring an undefeated record to take on the Kentwood Kangaroos, another blue blood team in Class 1A. The Kangaroos have won 8 state championships, most recently in 2015. And even though this is 1A football, Jacob, I think we're going to see a lot of speed on the field here today.
Absolutely. When you look at Kentwood, they were here a year ago. They have that experience. Oak Grove has it in their past. So these are 2 programs that are used to being in the Superdome. Trey Palmer is going to be a guy for Kentwood that jumps off the page. He is committed to LSU. He's a guy that can really take the top off of defense, and team speed is the key for Kentwood.
And the guy that will try to get the ball to Trey Palmer is Kentwood's first-year starting quarterback, TJ Hookfin. This guy has a cannon for an arm, Jacob.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he's a baseball guy. He actually took off of football to concentrate on baseball, missed football too much, and I promise you every Kentwood Kangaroo fan is glad that he decided to play football this year because he is really the oil in the engine. He makes everything go on that offense for the Kangaroos.
For the Oak Grove Tigers, they play a ground and pound option offense, and they got 3 guys that can run the football, and it's your classic kind of small school football where they're both going to go, or both guys, all the guys on the team are going to go both ways, and they're all going to be very effective on offense trying to go up against this Kentwood defense.
You know, when we do these player profiles, not many times is a fullback mentioned in there. It brings a tear to a glass eye for a former fullback here. Wyatt Rawls is a guy that really leads this offense in that fullback position. They are going to run the football all day long. Cam Holloway, their quarterback, he's only thrown the ball 65 times this year. It kind of gives you an idea of what they want to do. You'll see him, Moore, Rawls, all 3 of those guys are going to run the football. It is a 3-headed monster. It is what they want to do. That is the brand of Oak Grove football.
Last week, they rushed for 260 yards on a wet turf in a semifinal win over West St. John. Now they are in perfect conditions inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and we're moments away from the Class 1A kickoff. Oak Grove and Kentwood, between these 2 schools, 12 state championships. We'll find out who claims the 1A crown here shortly. We'll be right back on CST. Carly McCord. Carly?
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jacob. Well, you all touched on it earlier that there are a lot of key parts to this Kentwood offense, and one of those key parts being wide receiver Trey Palmer, but quarterback TJ Hookfin, he says they really just have so many weapons on this team, and that Coach Foster and his staff do a great job utilizing them. In the Class A semifinal, when they got the win over Haynesville, there were 5 different receivers who caught 3 or more passes. Coach Gregory says from Oak Grove that it's been the biggest challenge that they've ever had to prepare for. He says that he knows his defense is going to have a big day today, and that they're going to have to come in strong if they want to go home with that trophy. Jeff, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Carly. And Trey Palmer, he has been banged up. We'll talk a little bit more about him. He didn't actually practice at all heading into the semifinal victory against Haynesville. There's a look at the head football coach for the Kentwood Kangaroos, Jonathan Foster, in his 5th season. Took over in 2014 from David Currier, who was a longtime head coach at Kentwood. And Jonathan Foster led Kentwood to a state championship in 2015. And the head coach for the Oak Grove Tigers, also in his 5th season, Ryan Gregory. He was a senior and team captain on the 2001 state championship team. He was a nose guard back then. In his first season in Oak Grove, they went 5-6. Since then, he's done a tremendous job there. But Oak Grove, they have had a hard time getting past Kentwood in recent years. Last year, they lost to Kentwood in the semifinals 19-7. And in 2015, during Kentwood State Championship season, Oak Grove lost to the Kangaroos 27-14 in the semis. So they get an opportunity here to exact some revenge from those 2 recent losses. Oak Grove will be kicking off. I think the entire population of West Carroll Parish is here inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, as football is a big deal in the tiny town of Oak Grove, and it's also a big deal in Kentwood from Tangipahoa Parish.
You know, that's what's great about the 1A games, though, Jeff, is the entire city show up. They have so much pride in their football programs. Can't wait for it.
Oak Grove, the kickoff. It is a squib kick by James Clack, but it's still going to bounce all the way to Trey Palmer. And Palmer makes the first guy miss, makes another guy miss, and he'll get up to the 33-yard line. And we'll see Kentwood's offense first. Not a high-scoring Kentwood team as you take a look at Terrell Hookfin. TJ Hookfin, again, didn't play at all last season as he concentrated on baseball. He was lights out last week in the road victory over Haynesville, 20-14, where he threw for 227 yards and 2 touchdowns. He can run the ball a little bit as well. He's calm, he's cool, he can collect, and an accurate passer. 5 wide receivers on our first play from scrimmage in the 1A state championship game from the 33-yard line. And it's picked up, and we got a pick 6. What a way to start the game for the Oak Grove Tigers. How about that? Otis Moore.
You're talking about reading it before it happens. Look, they come out in an empty set. Oak Grove lines up, gets it covered. They see it coming a mile away, steps in front of it. A pick 6 to start the 1A championship game here in the Superdome.
36 yards. That's got to be a All-State Sugar Bowl Prep Classic record for fastest score, especially if you're not dealing with a kickoff. 15 seconds off the clock, and Oak Grove is on the board. Wow. What a way to start 3 days of coverage here from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The extra point is good. James Clack gets it done. And Otis Moore, one of their top players, makes a big defensive play to start this football game.
Really great job here. I mean, Moore just reads it, but here, be careful. Because if you're Kentwood, you've got to say, hey, we can come back to that play. We'll fake it. The blocker will go up the seam and might have a play off of it. So, look, doomsday right now for Kentwood, but expect them to try to revisit that play. Look, they started off the game with the play. They like the play, and you know they've got a wrinkle off of it.
Well, you talked about it in the beginning, Jacob, about the fact that at least Kentwood has been in the Dome. They were in the Dome here last year, ended up losing in the state championship game to a good West St. John club, 20-14. And maybe the Butterflies would be with Oak Grove, but with a play like that, that probably takes a lot of pressure off the Tigers, who have not been here since 2004.
When you score on the first play and you're not on offense, that can take all the Butterflies out. What a start for Oak Grove. We'll see how Kentwood can respond, because right now when you had that kind of momentum, everything you've done in the past kind of goes out the window. All the value that Kentwood brings into this game just kind of went away in one play. We'll see if they can get it back.
Keenan Caldwell is the kickoff man for Oak Grove, and we'll talk a lot more about him. He is an impressive defensive lineman. And again, the idea here is to try to kick the ball away from Trey Palmer, who's the deep man for the Kangaroos. And Caldwell whiffed on it. Well, I can honestly say, Jacob, I don't think I've ever seen a game start like this.
You know, when you paint a picture of a football game, to say a pick 6 on the first play out of an empty set, and then the next kickoff, a guy kicks it, I believe 3 inches, is not usually how it starts off. But here we are. Let's go.
So it's going to be outstanding field position now for Kentwood. They get it at the Oak Grove 41-yard line. So a tough break there for Keenan Caldwell and the Oak Grove Tigers. And great field position now for Kentwood. Hookfin to throw again. Another screen. It's set up a little bit better. And this is Edward McGee. He is an outstanding wide receiver for the Kangaroos. And McGee is going to get close to the end zone. Did he get in? Touchdown! No, they're going to say I'm at the 1. One of the referees looked like he was going to put up his hands for signaling a touchdown. Instead, they say McGee is down at the 1-yard line.
Well, you can't say we haven't had any action in the first couple of moments of this ball game. Look, This is a play that Kentwood is going to run all night because their receivers are absolutely some of the most athletic people we'll see the entire weekend here in the Superdome. They want to get the ball to these guys in space. They were trying to run a screen on the first play. Obviously didn't go their way, but you're going to see this type of play from them all night long.
Let's see if he steps out. Tough to tell. But the referee there on the pylon was about ready to signal touchdown, but the trailing referee signaled he was out at the 1. Inside the Cribs Incorporated red zone are the Kangaroos. Handoff. Carter reaches over. Did he get in? I believe so. Touchdown, Kentwood. Larry Carter into the end zone for the 6th time this season.
Big response there, obviously, from the Kangaroos. Look, first play of the game, the other team pick 6. You fortunate enough to get the 3-inch kickoff there. You get great field position. You hit a big play on the first play. You knock it in. We're all locked up at 7.
Now this has got to be a state championship record. 2 touchdowns in 33 seconds to start a game. Can't imagine another game starting like this before. Cornelius Dyson, straight ahead kicker, old school style. He doesn't put a lot of effort into it, but he's very accurate. Dyson now 19 of 29 on extra points. Here's the touchdown run from the senior, Larry Carter. Some early fireworks in the 1A state championship game. Well, if you're joining us late, you missed a lot. We've only played 33 seconds, but each team has already scored a touchdown, a pick 6, and then as Jacob has identified, a 3-inch kickoff. That's just some great field position for Kentwood. Trey Palmer on the squib kick, and it finally bounces to Otis Moore, but I think another Oak Grove player got on it. And the Tigers will start from their own 33-yard line. Cameron Bud Holloway is the quarterback for Oak Grove. Not big at all, only 5'8", 140 pounds, but he's explosive. He can make a lot of plays when things start to break down on him. 4.45 speed. You look at the passing numbers, he's actually rushed for more yards than he has thrown this season. One of those great quarterbacks that really takes what the defense gives him. Otis Moore is the deep tailback here, and then the fullback is Wyatt Rawls. Those are the 3 main guys for Oak Grove as they run the option, and on the handoff right up the middle, it goes absolutely nowhere, and in fact, Rawls probably lost a yard. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for Oak Grove. Dalton Allen is a good tight end who's caught 12 passes on the season. Dante Anderson, Braden Sullivan are your 2 wide receivers. Good hands, and they can also block pretty well. On the offensive line, which is coached by Josh Bradley, who was a 2-time All-American at Louisiana Tech. The line is Gunter, Sierra Pencock, Klink, and then E.J. Anderson. The young offensive line, you got 2 sophomores there, Klink and Anderson. And they're going up against a good Kentwood defensive line. It's going to be 3rd down and long here early on this first drive for Oak Grove. Let's look at the starting lineup for Kentwood. We're going to mention his name a lot. Britton Cazzaruni, he gets in the backfield quite a bit. Bryce Cooper is a tackling machine at linebacker. Redarian Robbins is really good as well. So those are some of the standout players for Kentwood as they are allowing just 12 points a game. There's Cazzaruni, 6 sacks on the season. He gets in the backfield quite a bit. 3rd down and 12. Let's see if Oak Grove will throw it. They're going to run, looks like to be an option, and now a pass, and it's incomplete. Moore threw it, and it was incomplete, and it's a 3-and-out for Oak Grove.
Yeah, look, when you run the I veer and it's 3rd and 12, you don't have a lot of plays in your playbook, so you've got to get creative. They try to run the reverse pass here with Moore, the tailback, just because you are not set up for a 3rd and long. And when the defense stops you on the first 2 downs, you can really get in trouble, and Oak Grove did there.
Dalton Allen will punt the football away, and back to return, they'll have double safeties back there between Trey Palmer and Rodarian Robbins. Kangaroos set to get the football back. Tied up at 7 early in the first quarter. On the run, this is Robbins. Robbins has got some room to run as he's in Oak Grove territory up to the 37-yard line.
When you've got a dynamic playmaker like Trey Palmer back there, that's why you put the other safety back there, because you know they're going to kick away from him. You want to have another guy in place that when they angle that punt, you can get a good return, and Kentwood did there.
31-yard punt, 26-yard return. Great field position again for the Kangaroos at the Oak Grove 36. In the backfield, along with Hookfin, is Trey Palmer. Palmer, 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's a senior. He's to the right of Hookfin with 4 wide receivers. And they'll pitch it to Palmer. Palmer's got a head of steam. Palmer all the way up to the 21-yard line, a gain of about 15. Let's take a look at Kentwood's starting lineup. Larry Carter's got the touchdown. Edward McGee, he is an outstanding receiver. Had that long 40-yard reception to set up the touchdown run. When you look at the offensive line, Bryce Cooper is one of the leaders there. Mickey Miller, Derek Cohn are a couple of seniors, along with Kendall Wilkerson, who's 6'4", 275 pounds, and Elijah Jones is a sophomore. That pass was behind Palmer. It might be a live ball, and it goes out of bounds. It was a backwards lateral, and so Kentwood's going to lose about 4 yards on that play. We'll take a look at it again to see if it was a forward pass or, well, that's a backwards lateral.
Yes, definitely. That is a backwards lateral. You got to get on that football. Credit all the young men on the football field. They all know it, and it was a scrum for the football.
Palmer trying to adjust his body, couldn't catch it. Hookfin will put some zip on the ball. And that time wasn't a clean spiral. Tough play there for Palmer. Hookfin now delivers one towards the end zone, and it's incomplete. 2 receivers were there step for step with Anthony Holden. All of a sudden, 3rd and 14. Let's look at the Oak Grove defense. The defensive line's the heart and soul of this group. Bert Hale, Wendell Brown, and Keenan Caldwell, who is a big-time recruit as a junior. Wyatt Rawls as an all-state linebacker. David Bruce added some weight in the offseason. He's a 4-year starter for Oak Grove. Ladarius Ward, Deuce Clement, Bud Holloway, and then Otis Moore. There's a look at Caldwell. Let's see if he can make a play here on 3rd down and 14 for the Tigers. Hookfin's got a little time, now shuffles out of the pocket, looking downfield, nobody open, throws across the field, and knocked down by Otis Moore.
Otis Moore with another big play on defense. We mentioned him as a running back in the opener, but as we all know, when you play 1A football, you are going to play both ways, and he has made 2 big plays so far on the day on the defensive side of the football.
Jacob, I told you Hookfin's got an arm. How about that throw across the field? You don't see that in 1A football too often.
No, you're exactly right. I tell you what, a little bit more air. He actually had a receiver there that could have walked into the end zone, but that's a hard throw. You're going across your body. You're a left-handed quarterback rolling right, and he almost has enough steam on it.
So 4th down and 14. Hookfin is 1 for 4, but a 40-yard pass play set up the touchdown. He also threw a pick 6. Hookfin's got time, now steps up in the pocket, delivers a ball to the end zone, batted around and incomplete. Great coverage by Deuce Clement. He was all over the receiver, Anthony Holden. Nearly a spectacular play going both ways.
Look, we've mentioned it, how athletic Hookfin is. You can see it here. He steps up in the pocket, thinks about taking off, realizes the down and distance, gives his guys a shot in the end zone. Look, it's 4th down. He puts it up there, and that is a play that has to be made in state championship games.
Oh, man, he had like 2 or 3 times he nearly came up with it. So Oak Grove dodges a bullet there. Their defense comes up with the stand. And let's see if the Tigers' offense can get something going, averaging 351 yards a game on the ground. And again, the Kentwood defensive line is just pushing back. Nowhere to run for Rawls. Brought down quickly by Bryce Cooper. 139 tackles for number 50, a 2-yard loss there.
You know, when you get into the ranks of college football, we always say, well, you don't want to play an option team because it's not in vogue anymore. A lot of teams don't do it, so you have to prepare for it. Well, in 1A football, there's a lot of teams that run the option. This is not unfamiliar for Kentwood, and you can see just from the start of this football game, they are prepared for the option.
Kentwood went 11-2 in the regular season. They lost their final 2 games in the regular season, losing to Ascension Catholic and Southern Lab. The pass is intercepted. Edward McGee picks it off, and McGee is thrown down to the ground at the 20-yard line. There is a flag down.
Looks like it's going to be a block in the back on the return on Kentwood, but they still come up with a big interception there.
Howaway's second interception tossed this year, and the penalty was
a block in the back, number 57 on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Great field position again for Kentwood. Third consecutive drive that will start in Oak Grove territory.
I mean, we're not 4 minutes into this football game, and we've seen a lot.
We certainly have. We've already had 2 turnovers. And McGee, what an interception there. That's his 3rd interception of the year. McGee plays all over, and then Kazaruni was the guy applying the pressure on Holloway that made him throw the errant pass. From the 36-yard line now for Kentwood. And now it looks like a little razzle-dazzle for them. Palmer throws it back, wide open, hooks it into the end zone. Touchdown, Kangaroos. 36 yards.
Really nice play call there. Everybody knows the attention's going to be on Trey Palmer. In the conference calls earlier this week, that was the guy that Oak Grove mentioned time and time again. Where you pitch him the ball, all eyes go on him. You lose the place of the quarterback, Cookfin. All he does is leak out. He's wide open, easy pitch and catch, easy touchdown for the Kangaroos.
Palmer threw a touchdown pass last week in the win over Haynesville, and he does it again here in the state championship game. And after falling behind 7-0, Dyson's extra point is no good. Kentwood has scored the next 13, and they lead it by 6 with 8:03 to go. Take another look at this one. Nice delivery here by Trey Palmer.
It's a really nice play call. When you have a guy that you know everybody's going to be keying on, this is the kind of plays that you run. You can see the defensive backs, they over-rotate with the reverse to Trey Palmer. It leaves Hookman wide open.
Take a look at the scoring drive. 1 play, 36 yards. Their other scoring drive went 2 plays. And Hookman connecting on the receiving end of a touchdown pass. He's been used to throwing his own. He's thrown 30 touchdown passes this year, has Hookman, and he catches one there from Trey Palmer. So I mentioned Kentwood's 11-2 on the year. Their 2 losses were to Ascension Catholic, who's in the Division IV state championship game, which will take place right after this one against Lafayette Christian. And then they also lost to Southern Lab, who was the top seed, and ended up losing to Lafayette Christian in the semifinals. But they did not have Trey Palmer in those 2 games. Palmer got hurt in the Ascension Catholic game, did not play in the Southern Lab contest. And in fact, they thought Palmer was going to be out for the year. He really suffered a bad injury against Bazille, but he came back and played last week against Haynesville. Otis Moore picks it up and finding hard time gaining any real estate as he gets to the 35-yard line. Let's go down in the field and Carly McCord.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, that interception for Oak Grove's quarterback, Cam Holloway, was really unlike him. That's really one of the things that Coach Gregory said he's been great with all season long, is that he's really taking care of the football, only throwing 2 interceptions all year. But he said that ball security today was going to be one of the biggest keys in order to walk out of this game with a W. So far, not working on their end. Jeff?
Thanks, Carly. And Oak Grove needs to figure out how they're going to move the ball against Kentwood. Look, if we can get a shot of it. I mean, Kentwood's got 9 guys in the box here, as you can see it there on your screen. They are selling out, and Otis Moore finds a seam, stays on his feet. Palmer brings him down after a gain of about 8 or 9, but that's a good start on first down for Oak Grove.
Yeah, look, the last couple of drives, they've really been stuffed. Running the fullback dive on first down. And look, when you stack the box with 9 players, the fullback dive is not going to be your best option. You're going to have to get your athletes on the perimeter. Moore is one of their better athletes. You saw it there, picks up 8 yards. 2nd and 2 is much more manageable than 2nd and 10 in this offense.
Moore had a 91-yard touchdown run against Wassman, one of the big wins this season for Oak Grove, the top seed in Class 1A. It was enough for a first down, so from the 43-yard line, Oak Grove, Holloway runs here and picks up about 5 or 6. Give him 6 on it. Looked like he tripped over his own lineman.
If I'm Oak Grove, I'm going to keep my playmakers on the perimeter. You can tell Kentwood came into today's game with a plan to stop any fullback dives and Rawls up the middle.
Rawls over 1,000 yards rushing, Moore over 1,400 yards rushing. Holloway under center. And now to give it to a different back. This is Ladarius Ward. And Ward picks up about 5 or so. Ward over 500 yards rushing, averaging nearly 11 yards a carry. He's just a sophomore, 5'9", 165 pounds. Last week, Oak Grove had a 16-play, 63-yard drive in the shutout win over West St. John. And that's the kind of drive that they want to mount here against Kentwood and just really wear on you. 2nd and 5. Nowhere to run that time for Ward as the Kangaroos stuff him. Brought down right away. I think Kazaruni was one of the guys there defensively. Loss of 3, and now it's 3rd and long for Oak Grove.
Look, anytime you have 2 pullers in a play on the offensive line, it has to work out perfectly because that is something the running back has to read. The running back actually beats both pullers into the hole. You're not going to have a high level of success. The running back's got to work on his steps to have that timing better. The linemen have to make sure that their pulls are perfect. And there you saw a busted play.
3rd down and about 9. Holloway running it off the left side for about 4 or 5. Jacob, I would think you'd love to play in this offense. Would you like to be Wyatt Rawls today?
You know, I'm debating which guy I wanted to be in this offense. Do I want to be Wyatt Rawls? Do I want to be Otis Moore? Either way, sign me up. You know, I went to a school in Evangel Christian. We had 5 receivers on the field for most times. So as a running back, who wouldn't want to play in an offense like this?
4th down and 5. It is refreshing in this day and age of spread offenses to watch an offense like this operate. And there's a lot of movement on the line of scrimmage, and if it's offsides on Kentwood, and it is, it's going to be a 1st down for Oak Grove.
Yeah, you got to be smart.
Encouragement on the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Our officials are from the Thibodeau Association. Hilton Bro, our referee. So you look at Jonathan Foster.
When you have that situation, an option team, you rouse 4th and 5 from the field position is not going to be a great call for them. You've got to know they're going to try to draw you off sides.
Good hard count by Holloway. 1st and 10 inside the 40. Here's Otis Moore. And finds a few yards off the right side. Did the ball come out? Palmer's got it, but they're going to say he was down. We'll take a look at it and see. No instant replay in high school football, even in state championship games. Tough to say, but I would say its forward progress has been completed. It's tough, though.
That's very close. It looks there's no knee down. Forward progress would be the call. Oak Grove's got to figure out their puller situation. The running back is beating their guards that are pulling into the hole every single time.
2nd down and 7 now. Holloway, the deep pitch to Moore. Good stiff arm there by Moore. And then a tightrope the sidelines, and he's out of bounds close to the 1st down. Otis Moore is only 5'8", but he must have a strong arm because he knocked that defender down with a nasty stiff arm on this run.
if I'm Oak Grove, look, Otis Moore so far in this football game has been my guy that has made it go. He is going to be my guy moving forward until Kentwood proves to me that they can stop him. He's made play after play on offense and defense.
3rd and 1, but Oak Grove has yet to convert on 3rd down today. They are 60% on 3rd down for the... And Moore following his blockers as he's got the first down to the 24. A 6-yard run for Moore, who averages close to 13 yards a carry this season.
So that's what you want. We keep talking about these pullers and the running back beating them into the hole. On this play, you saw the puller come around. The running back had time to read it. He cuts inside the block and picks up the big first down.
From the 25-yard line now, as Oak Grove huddles up. This is exactly what they wanted to do. Control the football, keep Kentwood's electric offense off the field. Rawls, maybe a couple, that's about it, as Bryce Cooper dragged him down to the ground. Kentwood's defense last year held Oak Grove to just 132 yards as Kentwood defeated Oak Grove 19-7 in the semifinals. Oak Grove has been to the semifinals 4 consecutive seasons, and they finally kicked down the door with the win over West St. John last week. And Rawls had a big game, 130 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns. Moore getting it. Moore's got room. Moore to the 10, and he's brought down there. Good open field tackle by Anthony Holden, but Otis Moore continues to have success. 14 yards on that carry.
For Oak Grove, it has definitely been what they've had success with, is handing the ball off deep to Otis Moore. Look, the fullback dive with Wyatt Rawls is something that you can tell Kentwood has wanted to stop in this football game after he had a big week a week ago. Otis Moore, I'm telling you, man, he has had a big game so far from Oak Grove. I keep going to him until they prove to me they can stop him.
And for the first time this afternoon, Oak Grove is inside the Cribbs Incorporated red zone. Rawls got the carry, and he got hammered. Couldn't get past the line of scrimmage as Kentwood again continues to wait for him. Cornelius Dyson, he's a commitment to the Raging Cajun, 6'1", 195 pounds. Jonathan Foster says he looks like a Greek god. I mean, look at his size. Almost 200 pounds and over 100 tackles on the season.
It's really good disciplined football from Kentwood there. They have been on their assignments in this option offense that Oak Grove's run.
And they're lucky they have Dyson out there today. He was in concussion protocol. 2nd and goal at the 10. This is the 12th play of the drive. Holloway keeps it, but nowhere to run on the near side. Otis Elzey, one of the defenders there for the Kangaroos. So 3rd and goal from the 10. We'll see what Oak Grove decides to do. Probably 4-down territory. Braden Sullivan, the wide receiver, all the way out, and now looks like Oak Grove wants to call a timeout. There were 10 seconds on the play clock.
Timeout. Kentwood.
We have 1:09 left to go in a very entertaining first quarter of the Class 1A Championship. Leads Oak Grove on CST. Jeff Palermo, Jacob Hester, and Carly McCord down on the field as Kentwood leading Oak Grove 13-7 in this opening quarter of the Class 1A State Championship game. Tigers facing 3rd and goal inside the 10-yard line. A long drive here for Oak Grove, and they hope it ends with some points. Play action fake. Holloway, if he wants to run it, he might be able to get there, but there's the speed of Kentwood to bring him down at the 4. Good job defensively there by Jacavius Callahan, who chased him down.
Still, if you're Oak Grove and the type of offense you run, look, 3rd and goal from the 10 is not ideal. So what do? Well, you try to get at least half of it. They do more than that. They get 6 yards. It makes it manageable, right? We all knew this was going to be down territory for the Tigers, and so now you've got 4 yards away from the end zone. You can still play the playbook.
So 4th and goal at the 4. No field goal try here for Ryan Gregory and the Oak Grove Tigers. Seven seconds on the play clock. Right up the middle with Moore. Does he have enough to get in? Touchdown, Tigers! Otis Moore was the man during this drive, and he gets into the end. He has now scored a defensive touchdown and an offensive touchdown. 4-yard TD run there.
Look, that's why the 3rd down was so big. You picked up 6 yards to make it manageable. So within your offense, you're able to run what you normally would run. You don't have to think outside of yourself. Again, we see the puller designed how you want it to do, right? He gets around, the running back watches his block, runs off of that block, and gets into the end zone. That's why that 3rd down was so important. You don't have to get outside the box in your comfort zone.
Extra point try is good, and Oak Grove regains the lead. 4 seconds left. Oak Grove leads it 14-13 over Kentwood. In one of the more entertaining quarters that you'll see. As you look at the scoring drive, 14 plays, 65 yards, 7:43 off the clock. That's the big thing there for Oak Grove, keeping the Kentwood offense off the field. Well, join Victor Howell, Scott Shanley, and our Saints insider Mike Neighbors this Sunday for all your Saints game day needs. We start our coverage at 10:30 a.m. with Saints game day as we get you ready for the black and gold matchup against the Bucs. Then at 10:30 p.m., tune in for post-game coverage on Saints Tonight as Deuce McAllister joins the group, and we bring you our exclusive one-on-one interview with Drew Brees. CST is your leader in Gulf South sports. 14-13 leading Kentwood. I wasn't really sure what we were going to see here, Jacob, if it was going to be a defensive game or an offensive game, but that's a better kickoff than what we saw last time, but still good field position here for Kentwood. But seems like we're leaning towards a high-scoring affair here today.
Yeah, we got 27 points here, Jeff, in the first quarter. Both these offenses seem like they're settling in. They're figuring out what is going to work against the opposing defense. Oak Grove came in with a game plan to run the fullback dive. Well, Kentwood stopped it, and they kind of veered off to Otis Moore. And Otis Moore has been the big story for Oak Grove so far in this game. Kentwood is going to continue to run the trick plays, run the spread offense. So Oak Grove has got to be careful here. They got to stop him on defense because the style of offense that Kentwood plays, they can score fast and often.
Hookfin takes the snap, bubble screen, and a good run after the catch there for Palmer. Or that wasn't Palmer. That was Jeriel Brown, who's got 6 catches on the season. Gets very close to the first down marker, and that is our final play on an extremely entertaining opening quarter from the Mercedes Superdome. Oak Grove and Kentwood. We've seen defensive touchdowns. We've seen a lot of excitement from the Dome. Here's another big interception. We begin the second quarter as Jonathan Foster's Kentwood Kangaroos. Watch here down by 1 as they continue these passes out in the flat. They've had some success with them. They've also had some disaster with them. But another completed pass to Jeriel Brown. Let's look at the first quarter stats. And Oak Grove with the rushing yards, that's been big. Kentwood a couple of big pass plays, including one to their quarterback, TJ Hookfin. And we've seen each team turn the ball over early, too. One of them resulted in a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage for Oak Grove. 5 wide receivers here for Kentwood as they've been benefiting from great field position all game long. Another pass out to Brown in the flat. Brown showing a lot of determination there inside the 25 to the 24.
Smart formation by Kentwood there. They have 4 receivers on the left, and they had Trey Palmer. Know he's going to grab everybody's attention by himself on the right. They actually go away from it. And I think I'm going to hold my breath on all these throws from Kentwood being backwards laterals. But so far, they haven't gotten in trouble with it, and they pick up big yards there.
12 yards for Brown. Brown came into this game with just 5 catches. He's caught a couple of passes on this drive. Hookfin over the middle that time. That's Trey Palmer, who takes a couple of big hits, hangs on to the ball, and it's enough for a first down. Nice job there. Deuce Clement came up and hit him first, and Palmer hangs on to it.
Big league throw from Hookfin, the quarterback there. Fits it in a tight window. Nice job.
And now some tempo offense for Kentwood as they quickly get to the line of scrimmage. As you look at the numbers for Palmer, who has battled injuries all season long. Plenty of time again, and there's another touchdown. Edward McGee. And that was Hookfin just delivering the ball, spreading it around, and McGee gets into the end zone, his 8th touchdown catch of the season.
That's back-to-back big-time throws from the quarterback Hookfin. We talked about his baseball background. We just saw a 2-seam fastball right there for the touchdown, man. He's got as big of arm as we'll see this weekend, not only in 1A, but this weekend here in the Superdome.
Dyson lining up for the extra point. And it's going to get through the uprights easily. We'll look at it again here. Hookfin, his 31st touchdown pass of the season. And not only does he have a strong arm, he's got an accurate arm, Jacob. I mean, he puts this one right between the numbers for Edward McGee.
It's a really nice read. Look, you don't see this play a lot in high school football. The quarterback is reading the middle of the defense, wait till his receiver comes open within the route there, delivers a strike. It's really a nice pitch and catch. The last 2 plays really for Kentwood. Hookfin at quarterback, they realize they can do more things, right? He can make every throw on the route tree, and you'll see him do a number of different things here today.
Let's send it down to the field and Carly McCord.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, Jacob, you were talking about how quarterback TJ Hookfin football until this year. He was concentrating on baseball. He actually went to Coach Foster's office and said, look, I really want to come back to the football team. I want to contribute. I know that you can use my talents, because he's a left-handed pitcher. You talked about his arm strength, and Coach Foster and his baseball ability really shows arm strength. That
Thanks, Carly. Where would they be without him?
Okay, I'll go on the other side.
That's a big. Kentwood's talented, but he is really kind of the frosting on the top of the cake, because I don't know what else they would be what they could do without him, as Moore has to handle that ball like a second baseman, and he gets it up to the 26-yard line here for the Tigers.
And going all the way back to the last kickoff for Oak Grove, and even the one before, I understand the idea of trying to keep it away from some of these Kentwood playmakers, but you've really given Kentwood outstanding field position 2 different times in this football game, and they have capitalized on both opportunities, right?
Let's take a look at the road to the Dome, brought to you by your Southern Quality Ford dealers. They got a bye through the first round, and then they beat Slaughter Community College 44-0, then over Oberlin 14-8 in the quarterfinals, and then shutting out West St. John on the carry. That's Ladarius Ward to 32-33. The last 2 games played in some difficult field conditions, a lot of mud, a lot of rain. And Oak Grove in that game against Oberlin, they scored a couple of touchdowns early on in the game, and they just held on for dear life the rest of the way. And again, last week against West St. John, I mean, that field was all torn up after they got done with it. They're lucky they don't have another game to be played on that field until next fall or next August, September. Nowhere to run for Holloway. Kentwood defensively has solved 2 of the 3 pieces that Oak Grove likes to go after you on offense. They've slowed down Holloway and Rawls. They haven't figured out more, but they certainly know how to stop Holloway.
Look, you've got to give credit to being disciplined on defense to these linebackers and these defensive ends. They have not given up that busted play, that MA, that usually when you play against the option, they'll bust one loose.
Bryce Cooper, he is listed as the 34th best player in the state of Louisiana for the class of 2020. Oak Grove 1 of 4 on 3rd downs. Holloway to throw. He's complete. That's Rawls, and it should be enough for a first down to the 40-yard line. Nice job there by Wyatt Rawls. Only his 5th catch of the season.
Really nice job adjusting to this football. The quarterback kind of puts him in a territory where he's got to stop, turn, catch the football. Doesn't lead him enough because, look, you're a left-handed quarterback. You're rolling to your right. That's a difficult throw to make, but credit to Rawls for catching the football, getting upfield, and picking up the first down.
To the 40-yard line now for Oak Grove. 3 minutes have gone by in this second quarter. It's a 6-point Kentwood lead. Moore right up the middle. First down and more. All the way up to the 42-yard line. Trey Palmer brought him down. Great run there by Otis Moore.
Look, when they've had success, it's when they've run to the left out of a deep eye, when they've had their pullers. You see 50 there. He has been the more consistent puller. He has read the defense, gotten within the defense, and allowed his running back to really make cuts off of it.
That's E.J. Anderson doing the pulling. 7 rushes for 59 yards for Moore. Good blocking also by Cole Pennick. We have a flag before the snap here.
Sideline warning on the defense.
So Kentwood hit with the sideline warning. It will not cost them any yardage, but Jonathan Foster and company, they have been warned. Jonathan Foster, of course, he won a state title with Amite in 1994. Amite will be playing here tomorrow as the Warriors will be facing Welsh, the defending champs, in the Class 2A championship game. But Coach Foster, he's been a lifelong resident of Tangipahoa Parish. He played college football at Northeast Louisiana from 95 to 99. First and 10 here, and we got some movement.
Looks like you're going to have a false start on Rawls.
False start. Number 32 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That is just the first penalty for Oak Grove in this game. As Rawls a little bit too anxious, but finishing up here on Jonathan Foster. He took over for a legendary figure at Kentwood, David Courier, who's there forever. This is actually his 14th season at Kentwood. He was an assistant under Courier starting back in 2003. Gain of a couple yards there as he watches his defense. Former safety. Coach Foster would joke with you now. He's built more like a linebacker now than he was a safety back in college. Second and about 13. 45. Dante Anderson, a wide receiver to the near side. Moore right up the middle, and he got tripped up that time. Getting a hand on him and bringing him down was Edward McGee. McGee over 50 tackles on the season. As you look at Trey Palmer, too. Trey Palmer going both ways. He's got 86 tackles on the year with an interception. 12 coming up for Oak Grove. The Tigers are 2 of 5 on third downs.
Look for Oak Grove to try to roll to the left in this situation. 12 yards to pick up, left-handed quarterback.
And that's exactly what they do. They dump it off, and there's Rawls making another catch, but he's hit immediately by a couple of Kangaroos, led by Bryce Cooper and Jacavius Callahan. Cooper, he is a guy that's just all over the place. He's built like a stump. 5'10", 230 pounds. If he was a couple inches bigger, man, there'd be a lot of schools looking at him. Tulane is one team that's offered him right now, but he's their version of Devin White on this team defensively. He is just all over the place.
I've been impressed with the discipline of Kentwood's defense so far. We've mentioned it multiple times so far in the broadcast. when you play against an option team, you have to be disciplined, and Kentwood has done that and more.
So 4th and 7, they decide to punt here as they want to pin Kentwood back. A high end-over-end punt. Nobody's back to return it for Kentwood, and this is going to work out just fine for Oak Grove. They down it at the 1-yard line. Outstanding job there by their punter, Dalton Allen. 20-14, Kentwood leading Oak Grove in the Class 1A state championship game. Special teams always big in state championship games. Kentwood has had outstanding field position throughout this Class 1A state championship game. That's not the case now. They are starting this drive inside their own 1-yard line after the great punt by Dalton Allen, and it was down by Trey Allen, who got down there to down it at the 1. Hookfin from his own end zone. Hookfin feeling some pressure. He gets out of there, and now he'll look to run. And then he throws it backwards. And that's going to be a first down as McGee catches it. How about well, let's see. There is a flag on the far side. Kind of looked to me that it was a backwards lateral, but the official is a lot closer to it than I was.
I agree with you. On initial thought, I thought that was a backwards pass.
Illegal forward pass. Number 13 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Lost it down. Second down.
So he throws it from the...
Correction. After this to the goal. Lost it down.
Yeah.
Second down.
I think maybe it was a forward pass by a little bit.
It looked like he threw it from the 6, and he threw it where the receiver was standing on about the 4, but it kind of faded on him a little bit where the ball ended up. So a good call by the officials there.
And it's a spot foul, so they actually do pick up a yard or two, give them a little bit more breathing room, but they are facing second down. Second down and about 9. And now we have a whistle. And I think Oak Grove is saying, shouldn't that not be a spot of the foul penalty? And they want the referees to talk about it. Ryan Gregory is... Of course, it's half the distance if the penalty occurred at the 5, so that's why the ball is marked at the 2.5-yard line. So here we go. Second down and 8. Hookfin over the middle, way over the head of McGee. Good coverage by David Bruce. And this is exactly what Oak Grove wanted. A 3rd and long. A chance to possibly get some great field position here.
I wonder if Oak Grove tries to bring pressure here. It's tough to bring pressure when the offense is an empty set. You've got so many guys in coverage, but being backed up, 3rd and long, it's a perfect time to try to bring some pressure and really disrupt what Kentwood's doing offensively.
Kangaroos got 5 receivers. Oak Grove will just rush 3. Hookfin's in trouble. Over the middle, that's a first down. McGee makes the grab. What a play by Hookfin. It looked like he was going to go down in the end zone, but great awareness there by the first-year starting quarterback, and it's a big first down for the Kangaroos.
Even though they do get pressure initially, when you only bring 3, you don't have those other guys to step up and bring the quarterback down. You're asking your defensive backs and linebackers to stay in coverage a long time.
There's the numbers on McGee, a 12-yard catch there. Hookfin gets out of the pocket, and Hookfin's on the run. Another first down for the Kangaroos as he was tripped up by Deuce Clement. 14 yards that time for the Kangaroo quarterback. Kentwood starting to mount a drive here, and this would be a backbreaker for Oak Grove if Kentwood takes the ball from their own 1 and produces points out of it, especially when they had it 3rd down and long deep in their own territory. A lot of athleticism out there on the field for the Kangaroos. Pass is complete to Trey Palmer. He turns it upfield. Palmer all the way past midfield, hanging on to that football to the 41-yard line.
So the last thing that Oak Grove wants to deal with is Trey Palmer in space with a lot of room to make the dynamic play that we keep talking about. Trey Palmer is one of the most highly recruited guys in the state of Louisiana. And not only that, but the 2019 class for the state of Louisiana is a class, Jeff, that we've talked about for about 3 years. Just to tell you where that class sits, Trey Palmer in space is so dangerous.
30 yards on that pass play to the 41. That's a backwards lateral. It's going to be a double pass. Downfield, incomplete to McGee. There were two defenders there. Kelvin Holloway was one of them, along with Ladarius Ward. And there's another flag on the field.
Jeff, I think it's safe to say everything is up in the Kentwood playbook today.
They're going to say an eligible man downfield here on Kentwood.
I got another person on the offense downfield. 5-yard penalty. Replay with first down.
Trey Palmer trying to catch his breath. He's been busy in this game. And he has also been banged up, as I mentioned, ankle injuries. In the quarterfinal win over Basile, they thought he broke his ankle.
Another player, number 15, on the offense downfield. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
They put him in an ambulance in that game against Basile today with Trey Palmer, and at that point they were prepared to play the rest of the season without him. And then there he was last week in the semifinal game against Haynesville. Didn't practice at all that week. Taking a big hit was Brown, and he is brought down right away. Good job defensively at that time for the Tigers. Ron Creighton there on the stop. Let's take a look at Kentwood's road to the Dome as the number 3 seed. They also had a first-round bye and then beat Maryville 34-6, beating Basile 44-14. Then they had to make the long trip up to Haynesville last Friday, and they came back with a win over the Golden Tornado, 20-14. And here they are back in the Dome, a place that they are accustomed to playing. They were here last year, and they won it in 2015. Hookfin's pass sails on him, and it's incomplete.
Going on the road to play Haynesville, look, that's not easy to do for any football team. I'll tell you, look, my mom was a Haynesville Golden Tornado herself. There's a lot of pride in that program. So Kentwood, if they pull it off today, they will have the road that you want to say I had. The number 2 and 1 seeds are the teams you end up beating if you win it all.
And they fell behind 14-0 to Haynesville and ended up still winning the game by 6, 20-14. 3rd down and 14. Hookfin's got to tuck it. Gets away from some defenders. Hookfin very close to the first down marker. Man, this kid, again, I don't know where Kentwood would be without him. He could be loosening up right now, getting ready for baseball season, but here he is, leading Kentwood to a potential state championship.
Look, no disrespect to last year's quarterback, but we covered the Kentwood State Championship game a year ago. He's a difference maker.
Yeah.
He brings a different element to this football team. He makes everybody know where he's at all times.
Shaheem Carter was their quarterback when they won it in 2015. Of course, he's now at Alabama and one of the main players on that Crimson Tide defense. Shaheem Carter played that game with a torn meniscus and basically just stood in the pocket and threw the ball all over the place, and Kentwood won. So Jonathan Foster, he said, you know what, I'm used to dealing with injuries with my star players. We won a state championship with Shaheem Carter really suffering a tough knee injury and still battled through it. Let's look at Hookfin's run here as he's just shy of the first down marker.
Kind of lost track of where he was on the football field. He could have picked up the extra 2-3 yards to pick up the first down. Instead, he decides Two slide a yard short of the marker, so Kentwood still needs to pick up a yard to continue this drive.
You saw Jonathan Foster kind of yelling at Hookfin when he returned to the huddle there, saying, man, you got to go in there head first, pick up the first down. Kentwood is 0 for 1 on 4th down in this game. 14 seconds on the play clock. Under 3 minutes to go, and now we have a whistle, and I think Kentwood wants to talk about it.
Timeout, Kentwood.
It's the first time that Kentwood's been under center all day long.
20-14 is our score. The Kangaroos leading the Tigers in the Class 1A state championship game. A big 4th down play coming up. Stay tuned here on CST. Jonathan Foster's team looking at 4th down and short here in the Class 1A state championship game. Up by 6, 20-14. Jeff Palermo, Jacob Esther, and Carly McCord down on the field. Direct snap to Palmer. He's got the first down up to the 25-yard line, and this drive that started inside their own 1 continues. Was there a false start, though? No flag, but seemed like somebody on Kentwood's team left a little early. Yeah, the right tackle.
Definitely got a head start there. They got away with one, but I actually like the call. Look, you motion your best player into the backfield. Put this drive in his hands. He picks up the first down.
Hookfin dropped. First drop we've seen today. Unable to make the grab was Rodarian Robbins, who had an 18-yard touchdown catch. And you get the ball in his hand, he's a jitterbug out there. He's not a big guy, 5'9", 165 pounds, but he'll make you miss.
Like, I know you don't want to be overly aggressive if you're Oak Grove, but when Kentwood throws these screens, when they throw the bubble screen, when they throw the now passes, you've had success when you've been more aggressive and come up and tried to challenge them right on the line of scrimmage.
This is the 11th play of the drive. As Hookfin looking to throw, still looking, he'll run it. Makes a man miss. Inside the 15, and down he goes at the 11-yard line as Hookfin continues to put on a show here in the Class 1A state championship game.
I know we've mentioned it, but I just wonder how much longer Oak Grove is only going to rush 3. They're giving a very good athlete, Hookfin, all day back there. Then when nothing's open, when you only rush 3, he still has the opportunity to make the plays with his legs.
Oak Grove defensively allowing 15 points a game. They've really leaned on the defensive line all season. It's a big group, 3-man front, big for 1A football, but so far Kentwood has really kept them in check as we have a timeout by Oak Grove.
Timeout, Oak Grove.
I mean, this is huge what we're looking at right here, Jacob, because Kentwood is up by 6. If they punch in the score here, obviously go up by 13, and then they'll get the ball to begin the second half. Or, no, check that. It'll be Oak Grove will get the ball. Oak Grove scored first, but
they scored so quick that I understand how you can mess that up. It's still, look, it's a big drive. You got to get points if you're Kentwood here, regardless if it's 3, which we've seen. They're not real interested in not going for it when it's 4th down, but you got to come away with some points. This is a drive that can absolutely break the backs of Oak Grove. He started way backed up in their own territory, and so if they score on this one, it is a drive that has taken up much of the second quarter. And so Kentwood, if you're offensively, you want to get in the end zone. Oak Grove, you want to stop them because it could be such a backbreaker.
Stick with CST for the best college hoops around. We've got you covered with games from the Southland Conference, the Raging Cajuns, LSU, Arkansas, Tulane, and more. Here's a look at just a few of the matchups coming up this week right here on CST. Visit our website, coxsportstv.com, for the full broadcast schedule. From the 12-yard line, Hookfin today, 9 of 15 for 136 yards, a touchdown. Here's Carter. Haven't seen him as he is bulldozing his way down to the 2-yard line. We saw him score a touchdown on the first drive, but they have not given the ball to him lately, as they've been primarily throwing the ball with Hookfin.
He was the guy a year ago that really impressed me. He comes back this year, and they kind of changed the style of the offense with Hookfin at quarterback. Obviously, we've talked about the dynamic receivers that the Kangaroos have. But at the end of the day, if Kentwood gets up, if they get in a situation where they're running the 4-minute offense for most of the second half, they can do it with him at running back.
Larry Carter, the younger brother of Shaheem Carter, which is why he's wearing the gloves from Alabama. So they'll measure to see if Carter picked up the first down on the carry, and he did not. So 2nd and inches on this exhausting drive here for Kentwood. Here's a look at the, and he's got the towel to go along with it.
Making sure he gets some of that swag from Big Brother. Like, hey, look, I know that budget at Alabama football. Why don't you throw little brother some of that stuff?
770 yards rushing. Coming into the game, had over 100 yards running against Oak Grove last year in the semifinal win for Kentwood over the Tigers. So 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Oak Grove needs to, actually 2nd and inches, I should say. Oak Grove needs to dig down deep right now and come up with some sort of defensive stand. Carter in the backfield with Hookfin. Carter gets the ball. Carter trying to power his way into the end zone. Did he get in? No, he stopped right there at the goal line. Two-yard run.
Really good cut, but nice job by the defense of Oak Grove, keeping him out of the end zone, but at the end of the day, he does pick up the first down. Nice hard running right there for Carter.
And now we have the clock rolling. That was good enough for a first down. Remember, it was 2nd and inches, so the ball right on the goal line, basically. 12 first downs in this game for Kentwood, just 3 for Oak Grove. Kentwood taking their time here, letting that clock roll down a little bit. Carter leaps. Did he get enough? No signal from the officials. Yes, there it is. Touchdown, Kangaroos. 2nd touchdown run of the game for Carter. He has 7. And the fans from Tangipahoa Parish enjoy that one. And Kentwood has opened it up here a little bit.
Carter decides to go over the top. Ooh, that's extremely close there. Looks like it's a generous touchdown give for the Kangaroos. It was first down. They would have had multiple shots at it, but as Carter goes over the top there, it looks like it actually goes short of the goal line.
Wondering what the official was waiting for so long to signal if it was a touchdown. Dyson gets it through the uprights. I've never seen a more lackadaisical kicker who's as accurate as him.
Hey, it's a stroll in the park, man. There's no worries in the world when he's approaching that football.
How about that? 99-yard drive for Kentwood. 14 plays, 5 minutes and 32 seconds as Carter allegedly gets into the end zone for the 2nd time today. But that is a tough back-breaking drive. Remember, Kentwood had it not only inside their 1, but they were facing 3rd down and 8 from their 3. Hookfin makes the play on the scramble to give them the first down, and they never looked back after that.
First down, they have a penalty for an illegal forward pass there. Sets them back and lose it down there, and they still find a way to convert first down backed up there. So Oak Grove had their chances, but credit Hookfin and the Kangaroos for coming out. 99-yard drive.
Well, Oak Grove would love to see if Otis Moore can make something happen on this return. Give him a little spark. Tigers got off to such a fantastic start in this game with the pick 6 on the first play from scrimmage. But it doesn't look like Moore's going to get his hands on this one, as he'll be returned by Cameron Holloway, and Holloway gets shoved back by Rodarian Robbins. And that's 1A football for you. Your quarterback is on the return team, but not the returner, or at least lined up as the deep man.
Be interested to see what Oak Grove. There's only 28 seconds left, but you'd like to get some points. Obviously, you're down multiple scores here, but you're not really set up for this brand of football to score quickly.
Moore gets it, makes one guy miss, but a lot of Kangaroos are there, led by Edward McGee. And that's probably how our first half will end here from the Superdome, as Kentwood has taken control of this Class 1A state championship game. Again, Oak Grove will get the ball to begin the second half, and that will be a must-score drive for the Tigers, as they are down by 13, thanks to the terrific play of T.J. Hookfin. The Kentwood quarterback has been outstanding in this game, along with Trey Palmer, Ed McGee, Larry Carter, a couple of touchdowns rushing. They've offensive line, which they knew was going to be a tough test to block this Oak Grove defensive line. They've done a nice job keeping those three big athletic defensive linemen for the Tigers away from Hookfin. And it's resulted in a 13-point lead here for Kentwood as they head into the locker room.
The way this game started, man, you know, what composure for Kentwood to stay engaged, stay in the game, not let it affect them, and not only have a lead, but have a multiple score lead going into half. Look, that just proves they've been here. They've done that before. They are a seasoned veteran football team.
Let's send it down to the field. Carly McCord is with Jonathan Foster.
Coach, in the first half here, your quarterback, T.J. Hookfin, he's really been a difference maker and gotten into a good rhythm. How do you keep that rhythm going in the next half?
Well, just got it. Our OC is doing a great job. Him and the offensive coaches, what hurt, a 99-yard drive, you know, because we just want field position to punt the ball, and we did that. But TJ is playing lights out right now, you know, because the interception that was on us, we made a bad call at the beginning of the game. We didn't block. We had some mixed signals, but he playing lights out. I'm so happy, proud right now.
After that pick six to start the game, what was your message to your team on the sideline to get focused again?
Just settle down, because it was just a miscommunication between what we was going to run the first play. We had a miscommunication there. And once we start communicating and getting on the same page, everything was okay.
Coach, thank you. Good luck.
Okay.
Jeff, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Carly. And they are okay because they got T.J. Hookfin. And Coach Foster's right. He was lights out in the first 24 minutes of this one. Oak Grove has got a hill to climb. It's halftime of the Class 1A state championship game. We'll be right back here on CST. Back at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, where the Oak Grove Tigers are trailing the Kentwood Kangaroos 27-14 at halftime. An exciting 24 minutes of football. Jeff Palermo, along with the publisher for Louisiana Football Magazine, and go to lafootballmagazine.com as well for some great stories on some of the terrific high school football players. And you get a 1A game like this, Lee, so you see some guys that aren't getting a lot of pub, but here they get a chance to show what they got, and we've seen a couple of them really play well. Otis Moore has been impressive for Oak Grove.
Yeah, I saw them play Washita Christian about earlier in the season. Otis has a burst. He's a young guy. You can see his high effort. Jeff, obviously, he's a big-time player, and I'm interested to see how big he's going to get in a couple of years.
Right. Dalton Allen is a kid that we haven't yet seen.
Yeah.
But here's Otis Moore on the pick six on the first play from scrimmage.
He's got a feel for the game. You know, if it would for this guy, I don't know if they'd have any points. I mean, this guy's returning, punts, kicks, running back, plays DB, picked off the pass first play of the game. I think he's going to be a big-time player if he can grow a little bit in height. He'll go somewhere to college regardless.
You were saying that Cam Holloway, we haven't been able to see it yet in this game for Oak Grove, but he's one of the fastest guys on the 1A level.
I'll tell you what, Kentwood's boxed him in, done a great job. They haven't made him look fast, but there's a whole half left, and they call him Bud Holloway.
Right.
Cameron Bud Holloway, and he's the best basketball prospect, believe it or not, under 5'10" in North Louisiana.
Yeah. And Trey Palmer's looked really good in this game. He's really bulked up from a season ago.
I'm not an alumnus of Kentwood or a Kangaroo, but I'm proud of the guy. I mean, he's been banged up. He doesn't look hurt, but he's playing through it, and he's doing everything.
Let's take a look at our next game. It's going to be the Division IV state championship game, a rematch of last year's game, won by Lafayette Christian. Zachary Claymont didn't play in that last year's title game last year, though.
Zachary he's a gamer. You know, he reminds me like I don't want to compare him to Drew Brees, but he's a Drew Brees type. And he can do it all. He can run. He's a great kid in the pocket. His feet, touch. He's a great player. Nicholls State Northwestern's offered him already. Martin Lee is the heart and soul of the defense. I think he's D1. He's 5'11". That's why he's not getting a lot of offers. Colin Leahy is kicker that kicked a couple of field goals in here last year to help beat Ascension Catholic last year. Saj Ryan is the nephew of Trev Falk, the head coach.
Oh, really?
Big-time playmaker. This guy's going to make plays. He's a young kid, only a junior. So Lafayette Christian has got a lot of talent. I think they're better than last year.
Ascension Catholic, they're led by those two running backs, Jamar Barber and Jai Williams. And Jai Williams has got some good bloodlines.
Yeah, his dad is Jermaine the Juice Williams, who used to be the all-time leading rusher back in the day. It's been broken since. But Jamar Barber didn't play in the game last year. Yeah. He's going to help. Rodney Blanchard had a 49-yard average in the Dome last year. They need him tonight. And Nick Hilliard and Dylan Davis are those 6'3", 270 linemen that'll play O-line, D-line, and will play college ball. Nick is a junior. Dylan Davis is a senior. I really believe Ascension Catholic's got everybody ready this year. They're not beat up.
Yeah, it should be a terrific game. It comes up after our 1A state championship game, which has Kentwood leading Oak Grove 27-14. Lee, thanks a lot for your time. We'll get his analysis throughout this Prep Classic weekend at halftime as we talk about some of the players and where they may be heading once their high school days are over with. Oak Grove fans patiently waiting for the start of the second half as Kentwood is leading Oak Grove 27-14 on CST. Halftime is the Kentwood Kangaroos, who have won 8 state championships. Looking for number 9, they lead the Oak Grove Tigers 27-14 midway through this Class 1A state championship game. Jeff Palermo back inside the broadcast booth here with Jacob Hester. This has been a fun first half. We look forward to a great second half. A lot of action. We've seen a lot of different things in the first half, but Hookfin has been the difference for Kentwood and just Oak Grove offensively. Other than the one drive that they have, they really have not been able to establish their ground and pound attack here to keep Kentwood's offense off the field.
Look, credit Kentwood's defense. Oak Grove held under 100 yards total offense in the first half. They had a big play on the pick six, obviously, to start the game, but Kentwood has played disciplined football, right? When you play against the option, your linebackers, your defensive ends have to have their assignments down. Kentwood has done that, and we haven't even talked about them offensively, right? They've emptied the bag of tricks. Everything is up in this Kentwood offense. We've seen reverse passes. We've seen a bunch of different things, and so Kentwood came into this game plan to stop the option defensively and to really spread the football offensively, and so far they've had success doing both.
Let's take a look at our highlights, and on the first play from scrimmage, a pick six. Otis Moore reading the play into the end zone untouched. What a start for Oak Grove.
It probably would have shell-shocked a lot of teams, but credit Kentwood, man. They've been here before. They were here a year ago. They were here in 2015. They didn't blink. They continue to move forward.
Big interception there by Edward McGee. That would set up another Kentwood score here. This was the bag of tricks you were talking about. Trey Palmer throwing it back to his quarterback, TJ Hookfin, for the easy score. Otis Moore, who's been the most productive player offensively for Oak Grove, into the end zone there. But then Kentwood went to work. Touchdown pass to McGee. And this to complete a 99-yard drive. Larry Carter gets the nose of the football past the goal line. And you look at the stats, just the 94 yards of total offense for Oak Grove. They'll get the ball to begin the second half. They'll need to start moving the chains and controlling the clock and making things happen offensively for them.
Look, when you look at Kentwood, we all talked about Trey Palmer beginning this game, but Hookfin, the quarterback, McGee, the receiver, everybody on that football team is making plays. And if you're Oak Grove, you've got to pick your poison, but you've got to stop something that Kentwood is doing offensively. And then when you have the football, look, they have taken away your dive. They've taken away your bread and butter. You've got to get more creative. You've got to put the football in Otis Moore's hands and let him be that guy, because so far he is your playmaker.
Well, they would like to try to get their other two guys involved more, or at least have them have big plays. Cam Holloway and Wyatt Rawls, a very quiet first half for the Oak Grove Tigers. As a tradition during state championship events involving the Louisiana High School Athletic Association, it's the ISC All Academic Awards. These are students who have maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout their high school career, and these are seniors. And for Oak Grove, linebacker David Bruce, a 4.0 student. 27-14 our score. Kentwood leading Oak Grove in the Class 1A state championship game on Cox Sports Television. Moments away from the start of the second half between Kentwood and Oak Grove in the Class 1A state championship game. Carly McCord is standing by with Oak Grove head coach Ryan Gregory.
Thanks, Jeff. Coach, Otis Moore, he's really been a difference maker for you all offensively in the first half, but I know you want to incorporate some of your other offensive key players. What was your message at half to do that?
You know, just stay steady with the game plan. I mean, I think if we get off the field on defense, quit making some penalties on offense, I think we're going to be all right.
You said that Kentwood, coming into this game, they were going to be bringing a lot of speed that you all needed to be prepared for. How do you think your team has responded to that speed, and what do they need to do to be stronger?
I think we got to get off the field on third down. I think we've made some good plays on defense, but I also think we've given up some easy plays in space that we didn't make good tackles.
Coach, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Jeff, we'll send it back to you.
He's right about that. You go back to the 99-play drive. They had them third down and long, deep in their own end. They allowed Hookfin to scramble and get the first down. And they need to get off the field on third down, but they need to start the second half with a good offensive drive that results in points.
Curious to see what adjustments they've made. Like we mentioned there in the halftime break, Kentwood has taken away Oak Grove's bread and butter, which has been the fullback dive. It has been running the ball, obviously, with Rawls at fullback, Moore at tailback. They've taken away two of those options. Let's see what Oak Grove can do. What does Oak Grove have in their bag of tricks? Because we talked about Kentwood's, where they can keep Kentwood's defense on their heels.
Oak Grove will get the ball to begin the second half. This is the first of 3 games today and the first of 9 that will be taking place over the next 3 days. Part of the 2018 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic. Oak Grove in the state championship game for the first time since 2004. They've been close. They have not been able to get to the Dome here, and they're facing a team in Kentwood who's beat them 2 times now in the playoffs, ending their season in the last 3 years. LeBrandon Cooper has it teed up here for Kentwood as we begin the second half. Another little squib kick taken at the 38-yard line. And the Tigers will start with some good field position at the 44 after the short return by Ladarius Ward.
All right, for Oak Grove, you've got good field position here. You've got to come out of this drive in the second half and get points. You start right under the 45-yard line here. You struggled in the first half to put a drive together. This is a huge drive for the Tigers.
Holloway, who averages 9 yards a carry, has not done much on the ground in this contest. And he's thrown an interception from the 44-yard line here for the Tigers. And they run it with Moore, who's had success, and Moore's got a first down to begin things for Oak Grove. Palmer on another tackle for the Kangaroos. They move the chains right off the bat after that 11-yard run by Otis Moore.
Look, I like it. Otis Moore was your guy. We talked about him. He was definitely the most consistent player for Oak Grove in the first half. They've had a lot more success when they have run the football to the left side and they have pulled Anderson from the right side, his tackle position. Let's see if they go back to it here.
Really nice run. A good replay there. Shows you the initial hole was not open for Moore, so he bounced it and ended up getting the first down. On the pitch here, he cannot outrun Trey Palmer as he's brought down. A loss of 4. Great job there by Trey Palmer. Again, 86 tackles on the season for him, a loss of 3.
Look, I'm sure there is a lot of people that Otis Moore has beaten to the corner this year in Oak Grove's football games, but none of those guys have Trey Palmer's speed. Great play, closes in on Moore, tackles him for a loss there.
Second down and 13.
Trey Palmer has been very productive on both offense and defense here today. Has thrown a touchdown pass. And Rawls finally gets something going there on the dive. Big time hit. Gets about 5 or 6. Third down for Wyatt Rawls, who is just your throwback player. As your typical 1A, 5'9", 200 pounds, means a ton to this team. Over 1,000 yards rushing on the season. Hasn't had much success, though, today running the football.
Still a good pickup. Look, it was 2nd and long. You make it manageable here in this 3rd and 7. Much like they did in the first half, they picked it up half of it on 3rd down. Were able to convert on 4th down.
So on 3rd down, they give it to Moore. He loses the ball, and it's on the ground. Looks like the Kangaroos have it, and they do. A huge turnover to begin the 2nd half as Moore was popped in the backfield, and Kentwood falls on the loose football.
Look, this one's not going to really be on the running back. When you look at where he gets hit in the backfield, you almost throw a no-hitter, right? He's not expecting that guy from his right side to be free. He hits him, the ball's loose. You got to do a better job. If you're going to pull a puller there from the right side, somebody has got to cut off that nose tackle.
Kewan McGee coming in and jarring the football loose. And Ryan Gregory's team is in trouble right now, and McGee a little shaken up after that big hit in the backfield. 2 tackles for a loss this season. That was a big-time turnover there. And Kentwood has the football now up by 13 at their own 38-yard line.
When we watch that replay, look, that's not really on the puller, Anderson. That is not his responsibility. They have got to block down to recover for the puller. But, look, you've got to have some awareness. You have to stop that guy from penetrating. Unfortunate Anderson there, because he's been so good pulling all day.
From the 39-yard line, Hookfin gets rid of the ball quickly once again. And this is Robbins, who's got the first down, and down the sidelines he goes. Outruns the Oak Grove defense. Touchdown, Kentwood. 61 yards for Robbins.
How many times do you see it after a turnover, right? The offense comes out, they put their best ball play together, and they hit a home run. I mean, Kentwood offensively is really doing some nice things, spreading the football field, giving it to multiple players. A great job actually by Carter there to not block the defender in the back. Kentwood, man, they can score on any given play. They are a high-powered offense multiple ways, man. It can be Palmer, it can be McGee, it can be Carter at running back. They have so many guys. We saw Robbins there that can hit a home run.
2 big missed tackles, a whistle and a flag before the snap. It's going to be offsides on Oak Grove. 10 touchdown catches on the season now for Robbins.
Encroachment on the defense. After this to the goal, we tried it down.
So they'll move it up a little bit there for Kentwood. Robbins off the goalpost. Well, should have just kept it where it was, I guess, maybe. But anyways, Rodarian Robbins into the end zone as Kentwood displaying its arsenal of talented football players here today in the 1A state championship game. More coming up on CST.
Watch how important, Jeff, this play is, this touchdown. The running back Carter, right? Sometimes in a play, it's what you don't do. As we roll this play, he does a great job. He has a chance, and we'll stop it right as he gets to the defender. He has a choice, right? This is his guy. That's who he's supposed to block. Well, he beats him to the edge. He could have blocked him in the back very easily. We see that so many times. He holds off, doesn't block him in the back, gets for a touchdown. Very nice disciplined offense, right? Your guy beats you to the point, well, you don't commit the penalty. You let the thing play out. You trust your athletes, and then Robbins does with the rest of it, man. I'm telling you, Kentwood has played so well. They've played such disciplined football on both sides of the football.
And that's why they're up 33-14 as They've also done a nice job turning touchdowns or turning turnovers into points. Ward on the return, and he's up to the 40-yard line as he was brought down by Jerrion Nichols. Let's look at the 2 Oak Grove turnovers that have resulted in 12 points from Kentwood. An interception thrown here by Holloway. Nice grab by McGee. And then when Oak Grove had something brewing here early in the second half, Moore loses the football on the big hit from Kewan McGee. And Ryan Gregory's team down by 19 with 9:47 left to go in the third quarter. Let's see how they can get back into this game as Rawls runs for about 5. Let's go down to the field and Carly McCord.
Frustration is being expressed on this Oak Grove sideline, as you can imagine, especially from quarterback Cam Holloway. He's extremely frustrated and vocally expressing his feelings. He looked at his guys. He said, come on, we know that we can do this. We're still capable. We have plenty of time. Let's go out there, do what we do, and don't let them get the best of us. There's still plenty of time to get back into this game. Jeff?
Has to start on this drive. 2nd down and 5. They go to Rawls again. And Rawls picks up about 4. The 3rd down and 1.
Look, when you're a team that goes through the regular season undefeated, right? You haven't had that moment where you've really had to dig deep and to come back. It's tough. It's tough when you've been the leader in the clubhouse all year long and you haven't really had that battle test. So we'll see what they can do here.
Oak Grove's offense averaging 41 points a game. They're going to need to get that as Rawls breaks through the line of scrimmage. And the senior playing his last high school football game is going to give it all he's got right here to try to get Oak Grove back in the contest.
Look, this is something they wanted to do in the first half. They wanted to run the fullback dive. It wasn't working. Well, it wasn't necessarily there that time either, but Rawls has a great individual effort.
14-yard run, his longest of the football game. And Oak Grove has it at the 38. They continue to feed Rawls, who lost the ball. And Kentwood has it, another turnover. They just took it from him there. Another big-time hit. I think it was Bryce Cooper who just stripped it away from Wyatt Rawls. It was mono versus mono here between Rawls and Cooper wins the battle.
It actually looks, Jeff, like it was on the exchange. It looks like the quarterback Holloway was trying to give it to Rawls. Rawls thought he was pulling the football. As you'll see, that ball was out before anybody touches Rawls. So some miscommunication there. And a team that, when you go back and watch their tape, I bet that hasn't happened all year long for them, right? Miscommunication on a play they've run so many times.
Let's go down to the field and Carly McCord.
Well, guys, all last half on the sideline for Kentwood, Coach Foster, he was saying, you are not doing enough to stay on 32. Stay on 32. You all aren't doing well enough defending him. Well, he just got what he wanted there because that was Rawls, as you were just saying. Jeff?
Loss of 6. They wanted to try to set up the double pass, and it was snuffed out very well by Oak Grove that time. And getting in the backfield for the Tigers and making a play for them is Deuce Clement. A sophomore, 6 foot, 165 pounds, but Ryan Gregory says he's plays much bigger than his height and weight. 2nd down and 16. Hookfin over to the near side. Another big hit in the backfield. Nicely done. This is what Oak Grove has been missing so far in this game. As that was Ron Creighton there on the stop. Another sophomore for the Tigers.
When Oak Grove's had success, it's been being aggressive when Kentwood has thrown their screen game. When they've gotten in troubles, when they've sat back and tried to make a play off of a blocker. They've got to continue to be aggressive. I realize that that is a scary thought with all the team speed Kentwood has, but when you are down multiple scores, you've got to be aggressive. They were the last 2 plays.
Can they get off the field? Kentwood's 1 for 3 on 3rd downs from the 30. Hookfin. Pass is caught They need to make a tackle here. A helmet comes jarring loose. That ends the play immediately in high school football. And Kentwood comes up about 3 yards shy of the first down as Robbins lost his helmet.
Oak Grove tries to keep everything in front of them on that 3rd and long. They're going to give up some yards knowing where the sticks are, end up making a tackle for a big stop. We'll see what Kentwood does here. They have been uber aggressive this entire football game. It wouldn't shock me to see the offense back on the field, but with a score the way it is, 33-14, you feel comfortable, I'd roll my punt team out there.
David Bruce was the man that made the tackle, and they will bring the punt team on, but yeah, if you're Oak Grove, you got to be watching out for the fake here. It is a punt. It's a line drive punt. And it will roll dead inside the 30-yard line. 29-yard punt. And with 6:04 left to go in the 3rd quarter, Kentwood leading Oak Grove 33-14 in the Class 1A state championship game on CST. Traveled all the way down from West Carroll Parish from Oak Grove, Louisiana. The first trip to the Dome for the Tigers since 2004. After a great start, it has not been going well lately for Oak Grove, but they do have the ball back after forcing a 3-and-out. And Oak Grove will start this drive at their own 33-yard line. Little misdirection as they go to Moore right up the middle, and he gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Looked like Otis Elzey was the first guy there to bring down Otis Moore. Only a yard gain.
Moore comes up a little bit gimpy on that last play. That's the last thing that the Oak Grove coaching staff wants to see. He has been their one guy who has made dynamic plays on offense and defense. They cannot afford to lose Otis Moore.
73 yards rushing on the day for Moore. Ladarius Ward now in the game in his place. Holloway keeps it, and Holloway tripped up after a couple. Just nowhere to run for Holloway, who's got tremendous speed, but they have not been able to get him out in the open field here at all.
No, it's outside of their comfort zone, Jeff, but I wonder when they try to throw the football. When do they try to make plays down the field? Because now, look, when you run the football, you've got a running clock. You were down 3 scores. You probably have to start thinking about putting the ball in the air and getting yards in bunches.
3rd down and 4. Holloway will throw over the middle, ball batted around, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Dalton Allen. And Oak Grove will have to punt. Holloway only 5'8", so trying to slant pass to the tight end Allen, not easy to achieve against Kentwood. That ball was hit twice, maybe 3 times there by a Kangaroo defender.
Yeah, look, they realize they've got to get out of the comfort zone and throw the football, try to throw it quick to the tight end. But you mentioned it there. Kentwood there puts their hands up, gets the ball in the air, and that could have ended in another turnover for Oak Grove.
Allen to punt it away. His last one was down at the 1-yard line. It would be a monster punt if he did that again here. Low line drive punt that will just bounce and roll. And it's still a decent punt there for Allen. And Kentwood would start at their own 23-yard line after a 43-yard punt by Dalton Allen, who's a sophomore at 6'4", 220 pounds. We've mentioned it earlier, but Kentwood's had success against Oak Grove in the playoffs here recently, and even if you go all the way back to 2006, when Kentwood beat Oak Grove, the games have been relatively close. Kentwood winning in double digits, but when you look at the last 2 games played, kind of similar to what we're seeing here. Oak Grove offensively just can't get anything going against Kentwood. Remember, one of Oak Grove's touchdowns here today is a defensive score. Hookfin on the quarterback draw, bouncing it to the outside, gets a block. Good pursuit here by the Tigers, and he loses the ball. but it's recovered by Kendall Wilkerson. Well, that would have been a big break for Oak Grove if they could have pounced on it, but missed opportunity for them.
Kentwood very fortunate, end up with the football here. But we mentioned it at halftime, right? There's going to be a situation probably where Kentwood tries to run some clock. We've seen so many screens. We've seen so many passes. Here you see a designed quarterback run. At some point, you've got to imagine Kentwood wants to run their 4-minute offense. Is that right? They want to run the clock and dwindle this thing down.
Kelvin Holloway punched that ball out. 2nd and 6. That was Palmer throwing that pass, and it's complete to Robbins. And Robbins has got the first down.
With the success they've had in the screen game, I don't think they need the 4-minute offense. I think they've completed all but 2 of their screens. They've almost all gone for first downs. The receivers that aren't getting the football are doing a heck of a job of blocking, staying on their guys. We mentioned it. Oak Grove's been aggressive a couple times and had success. They've got to continue to do that if they want to stop the screen game.
At the 38-yard line now for Kentwood. A whistle and a flag.
And a false start on the left guard.
False start. Number 52 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Derek Kahn hit with the penalty as Hilton Bro, our referee, done a nice job today. Has the group from the Thibodeau Association. Loss of 5. They hand it off to Carter. Not much running room there, and he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Bert Hale, a junior, who Coach Ryan Gregory says will be heavily recruited. A kid, first year at Oak Grove, and there's not much film out there of him, but eventually he'll be as recruited as just as much as Keenan Caldwell, the other defensive end for Oak Grove.
The size of Oak Grove's defensive front in 1A football is extremely impressive. And those guys have made a couple plays today. They need them to continue to make those plays, hold their guys, hold the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd down and 17. Not enough tackles behind the line of scrimmage today for Oak Grove. Hookfin's pass, and that's caught by McGee. Bouncing off the tackler, and then finally flung to the ground at the 44-yard line. As he was tackled by Ron Creighton, but Ed McGee, a nice catch over the middle. How did he make this first guy miss, Jacob?
You look at this play, it's made by Hookfin to start off. Oak Grove gets pressure, not able to get there because Hookfin is getting the ball out of his hands so quick. And then you mentioned it, McGee just shuns another tackler, continues to get up and get yards. McGee's been impressive this game. You mentioned him to me before we got on air today, and he has lived up to the billing.
Committed to Southeastern Louisiana. Track guy, tall, rangy. 3rd down and 3. Here's Trey Palmer, and Palmer loses the ball, I believe, and Oak Grove is taking it the other way. Ladarius Ward into the end zone. Touchdown, Oak Grove. Wow.
You want to talk about change the momentum in one play? That's it. That is exactly what Oak Grove needed. They've had nothing on offense. They've had 2 defensive scores. This defense continues to fight their tails off. They have accounted for 2 touchdowns today. That is a big play against one of the marquee players in the Superdome this weekend.
See what happens here. It was just Ward with the punch and then the pickup, the scoop and the score. He'll grade very highly. When the defense grades the tape, 44-yard return for Ward, who had an interception last week. Smart football player. He's a sophomore and makes a big play there. Just what Oak Grove needed. The extra point try is through by James Clack. This one isn't over yet.
The thing that stands out to me in this replay, Trey Palmer has the ball on the inside. He does not put it in the correct arm. The pursuit from the defense is coming from inside out. They punch the ball out. You've got to have that ball in the left arm when you're on the left sideline.
Let's hear from Carly McCord down on the field.
Well, guys, Ladarius Ward, well, he only may be a sophomore, but he's a true leader of this defense. Coach Gregory calls him a student of the game and a film rat. Says he just watches tons of film, always well prepared for being so young. And he's just a super football smart and savvy guy. And he does a great job of getting the guys lined up. And a lot of the time, he can correct some things that they haven't even seen that he's able to adjust. And you can also tell from what he did just now that he's a big playmaker at that. Jeff?
Yeah, that was a phenomenal play defensively against one of the best offensive players in the state of Louisiana. So let's see what Oak Grove can do with this newfound momentum.
We got a new kicker in the game for Oak Grove.
Yeah, I guess after the 3-inch kick, James Clack is out there. They've been using Keenan Caldwell to kick off to keep it away from Trey Palmer. But Clack has been their regular kicker this season, so it's an onside kick, but I think somebody was offsides from Oak Grove. And we'll hear from Hilton Bro again. Not the worst thing to happen there for the Tigers.
Offsides. On the kicking team, 5-yard penalty.
Well, Ryan Gregory is actually going to send Caldwell back out there, as they'll have to tee it up now from the 35-yard line.
Oak Grove thinking they're going to try to steal one there. Maybe a little surprise onside kick. Bounce around, see if they can get their hands on the football again. Doesn't work. You have the offside call there. You go back to what you've been doing all game.
So Caldwell, the big defensive lineman at over 300 pounds, who has A&M, Ole Miss, and several other schools looking at him. There's the big funny hop, but Carter there to finally corral the football, and Kentwood will start off at their own 45-yard line late in the third quarter. Nearly got the bounce that they were looking for here for Oak Grove.
That's exactly what you wanted. You wanted spitting around there on the football field, taking multiple bounces, and it almost comes loose for Oak Grove there.
I would imagine you were on the hands team, Jacob. That can't be very easy.
Yeah, it's a lonely place. Yeah, when you're on the hands team and you know exactly where they're trying to kick it, it's usually you, and you know you got to come up with it. It is a very lonely island feeling.
Some guys make the business decision and just let it go. Hookfin runs it and gets maybe 3 or 2. Actually, Trey Palmer on the direct snap as he gets a couple. So we're seeing a little bit more of Palmer in the backfield here, or at least taking the snaps. And now Hookfin comes back out there. And Palmer is holding on to his left hamstring. Maybe a cramp. These guys not used to it. Get that water out of here. Maybe he doesn't like water like Odell Beckham.
He was a little gimpy there earlier in the game. They showed him on the sideline. Looked like he was trying to work something out. It could be a cramp. We all know he's had the ankle injury. This looks more like a hamstring. That's where he's grabbing. Look, he's obviously a player that's going to play multiple positions for Kentwood. They count on him. They rely on him. He just had the big fumble. They put the ball right back into his hands. So this could be a big loss for Kentwood.
Let's see if he can get back out there. Second down and 7. Under a minute to go in the third quarter and counting as Hookfin back in at quarterback. Carter to the left of him. 4 wide receivers. And another quick pass to the flat. And a nice run after the catch for Robbins. I think it should be enough for a first down.
What did Coach Gregory tell Carly at halftime? They had to tackle better. They continue to miss tackles in the open field. It's really been troublesome for Oak Grove not to get these Kentwood receivers on the ground after first contact.
8-yard run after the catch. It's enough for a first down for Kentwood. Hookfin barking out the signals. Now he comes to the near side. And this is McGee. McGee, though, brought down, holding on to the back end of him was Ron Creighton. And he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or two. That's about it.
The Oak Grove coaching staff is losing their way on the sideline. They saw that coming. They were trying to tell their defenders they are throwing the screen on the right side. They were even pointing out McGee's jersey number, and they come up with a big stop there. But they are still getting coached because they wanted them to tackle that for a loss.
Each team scored a touchdown in the third quarter as Oak Grove trying to hang on here. Big defensive touchdown there. Gives them a fighting chance. 12 more minutes to go in the one. Set to begin the fourth quarter of the Class 1A state championship game. Jeff Palermo along with Jacob Hester and Carlin McCord down on the field. Kentwood's got a 2nd down and 8 as they're up by 12 over the Oak Grove Tigers, the undefeated Oak Grove Tigers, the number 1 seed in 1A. Pass is just a bit too high there for the receiver. As Hookfin again, when he's missed high today, and he missed right there, and now it's 3rd and long as they were trying to get the ball to Anthony Holden.
Look for him to come back to that play. It was definitely there. I'm not sure if it was miscommunication, if the receiver was just sitting down in zone coverage and the quarterback just read it, or if the receiver was supposed to continue, but expect him to come back to that one because it was open in either scenario.
Trey Palmer still not out there for Kentwood. Hookfin over the middle, through the hands, and then nearly intercepted. Intended for Larry Carter, I believe. Actually, that was Robbins, and now it's 4th and long. Let's see what Kentwood decides to do early in this fourth quarter.
There's no denying that Hookfin has got an arm.
He can throw it, man.
I mean, look, the ball goes right through the receiver's hands. He is throwing some fastballs out here. He's got the arm to make every throw on the football field. I've come away impressed. You know, everything you read about him is baseball, 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 and I understand it because of the arm. But I'm not saying this kid couldn't play football if he didn't want to.
Yeah, 5'10", that's probably a big limitation in the fact that he hasn't played as much, but I would imagine some schools will at least offer him, smaller schools anyways. End over end punt here, takes a bounce, does it get into the end zone? And it does, barely. Let's take a look at our statistics through 3 quarters. 2 big defensive touchdowns has Oak Grove in this game. They've only really mounted 1 drive all day. As Kentwood, when you look at those numbers right there, 345 total yards to 141, but Oak Grove has got the 2 defensive touchdowns. And that's a story in the game for them. And the fact that Oak Grove's defense so far, outside of the opening drive in the second half for Kentwood, Oak Grove's defense has made some adjustments, tackled a little bit better, and they've been able to get off the field and force some more punts. Another Kentwood player looks like dealing with a cramping situation, as that is Jakevis Callahan. Kid's not used to playing at noon or playing a game on a Thursday for sure. So you wonder how much these guys hydrate. Well, live coverage of the 2018 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic continues at 3:30 with the Division IV matchup between the Lafayette Christian Knights and the Ascension Catholic Bulldogs. And then at 7 we end the day with the Division III title game between the Catholic New Iberia Panthers and Notre Dame Crowley Pioneers. All games are live right here on CST, and those 2 games are rematches of last year's championship games won by Lafayette Christian and Catholic High.
Looking forward to both those matchups. Those are all very well coached football teams. Should be a lot of fun.
1st and 10 for Oak Grove at the 20-yard line. Do they get another big drive in them? They give it to Moore, and Moore's got a big lane to run through up to the 36-yard line before Robbins trips him up, but a good start to the drive for the Tigers, 17 yards.
Look, as we watch a replay, this is a big hole by the offensive line from Oak Grove. You'd like to see the running back step on his toes a little bit more before he makes that move. Otis Moore gets into the open field, makes his move a little bit prematurely, allows the defensive back to recover and make the open field tackle.
Moore approaching the century mark on the ground. Gets another opportunity here. And that time he is met after a gain of a yard or two. And once again in the middle of everything is Bryce Cooper for the Kangaroos defense. Gain of 2. Under 11 minutes to go in the 1A title game. Holloway brings him up to the line of scrimmage with Wyatt Rawls behind him, and then Moore, the tailback. Holloway will throw, going down deep, and that is an easy interception. Anthony Holden on the return. Holden across the 50 and brought down by Dalton Allen, but that was too easy of a turnover there as Holloway just threw that one up for grabs, and a 22-yard return by Anthony Holden.
Just not what Oak Grove is used to doing, playing from behind, having to throw the football. I thought maybe they could continue to run their offense after they get the big defensive touchdown. They try to take a shot here. Does not work out for them. Kangaroos come up with a big interception. That's going to be a killer for Oak Grove, right? They had some momentum. They got the touchdown. They stopped Kentwood's offense. They made a big play there on first down with Otis Moore. Then they throw the interception.
4 turnovers on the day for Oak Grove. Ryan Gregory's team having trouble climbing this mountain. It started getting high for him in the second quarter. A big second quarter for the Kangaroos. And they'll go to the ground, and Larry Carter for about 7. Rawls on the stop. And David Bruce, the 2 linebackers, the senior linebackers who have meant so much to this Oak Grove program, seeing their chance at winning a state championship slip away right now. We have a whistle. And we may have a discussion here between the officials. Kentwood is set to return to their sidelines, and now they are told, wait a minute, guys, come back. We got to play football here. This is the 4th drive for Kentwood starting in Oak Grove territory. Another positive for Jonathan Foster's team, as they're trying to let as much clock come off, as much time come off that clock as possible. 4 seconds on the play clock. They give it to Carter. And Carter denied a first down as he was brought down by Burt Hale.
Here comes the clock management that we talked about earlier in the game. We wondered when they would get to it. We've seen them throw the football for a lot of success today. At some point, like you mentioned, they're going to want to run this clock. They are going to want to have one of those drives that takes 6 minutes or more off the clock. We're starting to see it here. We all know that Carter can be a big physical running back. Probably going to stick with this. I'd expect a design quarterback run right here.
Well, Trey Palmer is ready to take the snap. And Palmer will run it. Flag down. Palmer slides down. We'll see what the penalty is about, but it's in the area of what could be holding on Kentwood.
What Oak Grove's coaches are definitely talking to the officials. Looks like it could be a holding.
But a holding on number 2 on the offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Jeriel Brown, you'll see it right in the middle of your screen, number 2 here. Trying to keep the defender off the edge, and an easy call out in the open there as David Bruce was the victim of that hold.
It's one of those things, honestly, when you go and you watch the replay, didn't even need to take place, right? Trey Palmer already had the corner. He already had the landmark that he wanted to get the first down. Unnecessary penalty there.
So now 3rd and 10. Hookfin back out there at quarterback. 4 seconds on the play clock. Hookfin delivers another dart. Another first down. All the way to the 14-yard line. Big play on 3rd down again. Jerry O'Brown on the catch. That's a backbreaker there for Oak Grove.
Hey, you want to make up for a penalty you just had? Well, run a route, catch the ball, and pick up the first down. It's exactly what he does there. Breaks 2 tackles, almost breaks a 3rd at the end for the score. That is a backbreaker for Oak Grove. They get the penalty. They think they're going to get the football back. Hookfin delivers another strike. And here we are, the Kangaroos picking up another first down.
32 yards inside the Cribs Incorporated red zone. 6 catches, 78 yards for Brown. He came into the game, 5 catches for 74 yards on the season. He's had a huge game. Palmer runs into his own man and then gets driven back after a gain of 3. Wyatt Rawls again on another tackle for Oak Grove. As you look at that Tigers defense, hands on hips. Been a long afternoon trying to keep up with these playmakers for Kentwood. Palmer stays out there. Jonathan Foster trying to bring state championship title number 9 back to Kentwood. Palmer looking for somewhere to run, and he gets cut down right at the line of scrimmage by Wyatt Rawls. And it's 3rd down. But Kentwood not in a hurry right now to run any plays as Hookfin set the return as the quarterback.
I'm a little surprised that Hookfin is coming out of the football game with
Palmer in. Yeah,
Palmer coming back in at quarterback. Look, Hookfin's shown that he can run the football as well. It kind of gives you that dual threat option. When Palmer's in the game, he's been mostly a runner.
Palmer trying to get to the outside and cannot. I don't think he can hit that next gear that he needs right now. Battling the injuries that he's battling. Kelvin Holloway on the tackle. 4th down and a must stop here for Oak Grove. It's 4th down and about 2. As Hookfin now returns to the field. Palmer will exit.
That's a tough spot for your quarterback to be in. Look, he's had all the momentum, and then all of a sudden he's out sitting on the sideline for 3 downs, and then you say, hey, you know what, get in there, pick us up a first down on 4th down.
Let's see what they do here. 8 seconds of counting on the play clock. Hookfin has time. Now wants to run for it, and he turns on the Jets. Touchdown, Kangaroos. Hookfin, 4 yards, and that is probably your ball game, and you might as well give that young man the most outstanding player of the game. He's been the best one on the field this afternoon.
Look, I understand the temptation to put Trey Palmer in a situation where he's playing quarterback, but he is not fully healthy, and Hookfin has shown he can run the football. We all know he's got an arm, he can throw it. I have been super impressed with this quarterback. This young man can do it all. He's a fast player. He's a hard-working player. He's a guy that is a difference maker from a year ago when they played without him.
Cornelius Dyson eyes another PAT. And that one is through the uprights. 40-21, Kentwood leading Oak Grove. TJ Hookfin in his final high school football game has been spectacular today. Well, the Kentwood fans have enjoyed this football game, that's for sure. It started off a little rough on the pick 6 for Oak Grove on the first play from scrimmage, but Kentwood has been the superior team here today. And they have a 19-point lead with 5:39 left to go. Kentwood plays in a pretty difficult district with the likes of Southern Lab, Ascension Catholic. Ascension Catholic in the Division IV state championship game after this one. Ward gets hammered there. Edward McGee. TJ Hookfin's been a story in this one. Just an outstanding game. Not only has he been throwing touchdown passes, he's been catching them too. The southpaw delivering darts all day today. That one to Ed McGee.
How about this stat? He's got a touchdown passing, receiving, and rushing today. Look, a lot of times we try to guess who the MVP of the game's going to be.
Yeah.
Not a lot of guessing going to go into this one.
Nope. He has been a main guy for Kentwood, and he's been their leader all season long. And you hit on it a little bit earlier in the second half is Holloway's got to throw here, and Holloway's in all kinds of trouble, and Holiday is brought down, sacked. Britton Cazzaruni, his 7th sack of the season. This is not a big Kentwood defense, but they are fast and they get after it. A loss of 11 there. Not much Oak Grove can do at this point. Otis Moore, I think, wants to throw it, but he can't. Kentwood's right there in the backfield with them. Kendall Wilkerson getting into the act.
You just can't undervalue what Kentwood has been able to do assignment-wise on defense.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been that one time when they've missed the pitch man or they've missed the dive and led to that big play that we see so many times when you go against a veer option team like Oak Grove. I mean, Kentwood, to me, yes, they've had the stars on offense, but defensively playing assignment football has been so impressive to me.
They had one less day to prepare for this game as well, with this being played on a Thursday, but faced a run-oriented team last week in Haynesville. 3rd down and long, and now a new quarterback in there. That's their backup, Sullivan, and it's complete to Damon White, excuse me, his 5th catch of the season. 4th and long coming up here for Oak Grove. They need another 9 yards to keep moving the chains. I think they're going to keep the offense out on the field. Sullivan and Holloway, the 2 quarterbacks for Oak Grove. Sullivan, 16 of 32 on the season for over 200 yards passing. Both of them are juniors. Sullivan remains the quarterback as he comes up. Under 4 minutes to go. 4th down in the 4th quarter of the 1A state championship game. Sullivan lofts one. Almost intercepted. Incomplete. Holden dropped it, but it didn't matter. It's 4th down, so Kentwood will start another drive in Oak Grove territory, and the celebration can start on the far side of the field. How about this? In 1A, no 1 or 2 seed has won the title in each of the last 7 years. That's pretty impressive. Part of that, Jacob, is the fact that a lot of 1A schools play up. They'll suffer losses, and so your really good 1A teams might be, in this case, a Kentwood, a 3 seed. They may have a couple losses because they played up, but they're really the better team. Now, Kentwood suffered its losses in district play, but again, Trey Palmer wasn't available, and they played 2 really good teams.
Also, a lot of good teams in 1A football. Yeah. The 2 obviously here. You talk about a Haynesville, a Logansport, teams that historically, West St. John is another one who beat Logansport. Those teams, right, all those teams have been here before. They've played in championship games. And so, yes, while you like to be the number 1 or number 2 seed, a lot of times that 3, 4, 5 seed is just as good as the number 1 and 2 seed.
Jonathan Foster told us they do have a little text messaging group between himself, Ryan Gregory, the head coach at Logansport. So they're all kind of checking in on each other. A run here by Larry Carter as we're under 3 minutes to go. Kentwood just trying to milk as much time off of that clock. And it'll be another state championship for the Kangaroos.
Kentwood's one of those teams, though, regardless of classification, they could play with a lot of teams in this state. I come away impressed with how athletic they are, how disciplined they've been in this football game. This has really been a nice job, especially the way it started. Your first play from scrimmage, you throw a pick six, but they stay collected. They go on, they play their brand of football and going to win this state championship.
Carter to the outside, playing in his final high school football game, picks up the first down. Two minutes to go here, as Oak Grove will have to wait a little longer to win another state championship. In a long time for them, since 2001. Coach Foster will now be 2-1 in state championship games, as the Hugs are starting over there on the far sidelines. Carter, another carry. And he goes down at about the 23.
You mentioned their district. Kentwood's district is a tough district. And look, I can tell you from experience, my brother actually coaches within the district at St. John, and he mentioned this Kentwood football team being disciplined all year long. And when you have battles like that within your own district, much like when you look at college football, when you have a conference, like the SEC, and you get ready each and every week for an SEC opponent, well, when you play somebody outside of your district, outside of your conference, you are prepared for that battle.
Under a minute to go, and they are on their feet on the far sidelines. Carter goes down again. 8 championships, the last one in 2015. In 2015, Kentwood easily defeated Haynesville that day, 40-7. Last year, some heartbreak for the Kangaroos when they lost to West St. John, 20-14. Coach Foster said some of his guys were starry-eyed last year, had 19 penalties and 4 turnovers. Today they wanted to win that turnover battle and limit Oak Grove's run game, and that's exactly what they did here today. And the Kangaroos are state champs once again. Tangipahoa Parish has another state championship football team as Kentwood defeats Oak Grove, the top seed, 40-21 in the 1A state championship game.
Great year for both teams. Oak Grove goes through the regular season, the postseason undefeated. Comes up short here, but great season for Oak Grove as well as the state champion Kentwood.
So Kentwood now ties Estruma and Tallulah for most championships in Louisiana high school football history. Got a little ways to go to catch Neville and Evangel Christian and Haynesville and John Curtis, but when you're in the top 5 like Kentwood is right now, that's a pretty good feeling. That gives you an idea of what kind of program they've had over the years. And they're in good hands with Jonathan Foster. He's one of the better coaches in the area, and Kangaroos always produce some terrific talent. And this year, no different as they win the 1A championship. At the end of the regular season, people were wondering what's going on with the Kangaroos after losing 12-7 to Ascension Catholic and 28-9 to Southern Lab. But Coach Foster said it, losing can only make you better. And that's exactly what has happened. Let's go down to the field and Carly McCord.
Coach, congratulations. In the beginning of the fourth quarter, it really seemed as though Kentwood was getting that momentum, but your defense responded. But I want to know how you want to just give the congratulations to your team on how they played on both sides of the ball.
It's been a long year, a trying year, and I'm so happy for my seniors, man, because that would. Don't y'all look at my stomach. They wanted his freshmen, and we told them to win one going out. That was our motto, to get one of his freshmen and get one of his seniors, and that's what they did. I'm so proud of them. I'm so happy for them, because ain't nothing like winning the state championship your senior year, man. It's just a lifetime of memories. Make them kids be winners as adults. I'm so happy for them, man. That's what it's all about, my seniors and my football team.
Yes, congratulations to your seniors especially. You said you wanted to come in here today and win the turnover battle, and man, you sure all did that. Made it look easy.
I swear, man, that football team right there played lights out. If you take away them 2 turnovers for touchdowns, man, look at the scoreboard. I'm so proud of them, man. A short week, coming back from Haynesville down 14-0, resilient. Whatever you want to say about a good football team, that's it. I'll give it to my assistant coaches, my OC, man, lights out. Total team effort.
And what do you want to say about your quarterback, TJ Hookfin? He did a great job leading your offense today.
Can't say enough about it, man. He's going to stick to the game plan, do what he's supposed to do. I'm so happy for him.
Coach, congratulations. Go enjoy this win. Your 9th one in school history. Jeff, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, Carly, I told you, look out for the hug, and you got it from Coach Foster. Final score from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Kentwood, state champs for a 9th time as they beat Oak Grove. We'll wrap things up when we come back. This copyrighted telecast of the 2018 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Prep Classic may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Cox Sports Television. The Kentwood Kangaroos, state champions in football for a 9th time, as they defeated the Oak Grove Tigers today 40-21.
We expected electricity from Kentwood, and we absolutely got it. Playmakers all over the place. That was a fun game to watch.
Certainly was. Got off to a great start with the pick 6 by Oak Grove, but eventually it was Kentwood's talent and athleticism that led him to another state championship. Want to thank everyone involved in the broadcast here today. Our director, Walter Volpatti, our producer, Ryan Doyle, the executive producer of the All-State Sugar Bowl Prep Classic, Jeff Brenner. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for the Division IV matchup between the Lafayette Christian